Welcome. I'm Jean Kuhn, and I'd like to introduce you today to Barbara Carr. Barbara is a kingdom-driven business leader, national influencer, and professional speaker. Barbara is the founder and CEO of Fuse Empire, which owns a multitude of companies that focus on growing businesses and growing people. Barbara's the mother of three and the wife of one. I think that's a good thing. She's been working with executives and business owners for over a decade to help them gain exposure, increase their skills, and systematize their processes. By doing this, she has helped many of her clients become internationally known. They've reached multi-million-dollar income levels and give their workers and customers a more organized experience. Please welcome Barbara Carr. Hi, Barbara. How are you today?
Hi, Jean. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Hey, I am so excited to talk to you today because I know that you're a business leader. I've known you probably for 7 or 8 years or something like that now.
Right.
And I was so impressed with you when I first met you because I thought you were 12, right? Because you
I
look
remember.
so young, or else I was feeling really old. So, I just really enjoyed your company. We spent a long time that day talking, and I didn't want it to end. So I'm so glad that we've been able to continue a business and friendship relationship over all of these years. And at some point today, I think you're going to need to tell the story about how I made you cry. Just saying. I want to do that. Okay. So but today I want to talk about you and Fuse Empire, right? So why don't you tell everyone exactly what Fuse Empire is?
Okay. Fuse Empire is my parent company that owns 6 other businesses as child companies. And those 6 businesses are Fuse Business Training, Fuse Marketing and Media, Fuse Virtual Assistant Services, Fuse Book Publishing, Fuse Promotional Products, and Fuse Corporate Training.
Well, could you do a little bit more? What do you do in your spare time?
Believe it or not, I actually co-own a couple of other businesses with others. And yes, and I'm a volunteer and a leader in many organizations as well. And I believe I actually have a lot of spare time, even with everything I do. But with my spare time, I do utilize it for things that are important to me, like spending time with my family or spending time with God. And of course, cleaning the house because I'm a mom.
Well, good. Well, today I wanted to talk about Fuse so tell me, out of the 6 businesses that you have there, the 6 children businesses that you have there, which ones, we're not supposed to have a favorite, but which child business is your favorite?
It's funny that you ask that because I even joke with my kids about which one of them's the favorite. You know, however, mom says, "You're my favorite. Don't tell the others."
Yeah.
My 3 kids know who the favorite is. But and it changes though. The favorite changes regularly. But for my businesses, Fuse Business Training is my favorite child there. That's where my heart is. That's where I get to do my coaching, my training, and my speaking out of. And that's where my passion really lies. So I'd have to say that one's my favorite.
Well, good. And you told me a quick story about one of your clients or 2 of your clients that after they went through your social media class, that they went on to be international speakers. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so for the privacy of the client, I'm going to make up a name on the spot. Let's call her Jenny.
Okay.
Jenny came to one of my social media classes, my big 3-day workshop that I was doing every summer. We've turned that into something different now, but she had come to my 3-day workshop and then she signed up to become a member of Fuse. And so she was getting training from me on a regular basis. And after several months, she got a call from somebody in another country that saw one of her social media posts and wanted her to come out to I don't remember the country. I wish I remember which country it was, but it was another country. And they wanted her to come do some training and speaking on what her expertise was. And at first we were trying to figure out if it was like a joke or a scam, because she was like, there's no way that somebody reached out to me from out there. And so we looked into it, we figured it out, and it was real. She went out there, they paid her really well for it, and it opened the door for her to do that in other places as well. It was really cool.
That is awesome, and good for you. And I know you put on, you do a lot of trainings throughout the year, right?
I do, yeah. And for a long time, I've done a lot of live trainings. I've now been transitioning it into doing digital training as well. So I'd like to have a combination of live and digital opportunities.
I love that. So, all right. So I won't go through and ask you to rank them, but what would be your second favorite child?
Okay, so the second favorite one is definitely well, I have a hard time thinking, and it's either marketing and media or virtual assistants. And the only reason I say it might be a tie is because my virtual assistant company is my oldest company, and that is the one that really put me into entrepreneurship. And so there's a big chunk of my heart still there. But I really love the marketing and media company because I get to work with people to find who they are and share the world with that. I get to help people brand their businesses. I get to help people with social media, like we just talked about, their websites, their logos, email marketing, blogging. Like, we get to do so many fun things in the marketing and media company. And so I'm going to go ahead and just go with that one.
Well, good. I'm glad we narrowed that down. But I know you're working on a new project right now.
I am.
You want to tell me about it? Because I know
Yeah.
I don't have all the details, and I really wanted to hear about this.
Okay, so I have been developing actually for a couple of years now. God gave it to me a couple of years ago, and I wasn't ready to implement it yet, but I'm in the works now. He's got me there. And so he gave me a vision of a business roadmap that walks you through how to how to start a business and how to make money in your sleep and everything in between. Like, there are modules and everything that you can think of, and everything business related, of course. And we actually do have a personal development opportunity as well, but this one is for professional development. The module that I'm working on right now is the Master Your Time module. And I'm really excited about this one. The reason I call it Master Your Time is because who wants to just manage their time when you could master your time? And it has a very special place to me because it's one of the things that I teach the most on, not intentionally. It just seems to be the thing that people really want, that people are having a hard time managing their time with all the distractions in this world. And I've helped so many people to finally be more productive and less stressed just by getting their time under control. And so I'm really excited. This module is going to be launching very soon. And I hope that people are excited about it as I am.
Well, I think you're right. I think that right now, people they have a trouble, especially entrepreneurs. They're having trouble focusing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And staying on task for more than, like, what, 15 minutes, right? So that they really struggle with that. So your modules are geared toward helping them. Give me one example of what you're helping them do in that respect.
So one of the lessons in there is called 4 Steps to Get a Grip on Your To-Do List.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have paper all over the place with to-do lists, right? I hope there's something in there for that.
Yes.
You're wondering how to manage the paper?
The paper monster. There actually is. There's an organization and decluttering section in that module as well.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
When do you expect to release that?
So my hope is that it will be released in June of 2020.
Okay.
And we are working really hard to get it out. It is a very big module, so we are being optimistic with that date, but that's what we're aiming for.
Awesome. And you're calling it a module, but are there like mini modules inside of that, or do I have to like sit down and I'm assuming that this is a virtual program?
Yeah, this whole program is digital, and it is called a module because I call it each stop on my roadmap is a module, and inside the module are lessons.
Okay.
And there are many lessons in each module.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you're expecting to release that in June. So what else do you have coming up this year? Since we're in 2020, right?
Yeah, well, we do my 3-day social media workshop I was telling you about. We pulled that down to 1 day. We found people really just wanted to have the best things in this 1 day and get it all over within 1 day. So we've pulled it down to 1 day, and we do that 4 times a year now. And we were supposed to have something scheduled at the end of this month, May, or at the end of April, I'm sorry. But coronavirus made us not be able to do that. So the next one is June 19th. So the next
Oh,
social media one-day workshop will be June 19th, and it is all day. It's 9 to 5. So
oh, that's awesome, because I know that is one of your passions too, right? You guys are spending a lot of time. You've brought on some help to help you in the social media piece of this, and I know you've got a social media program out there for entrepreneurs and real estate agents and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'm sorry, what was the question, Jean?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I know that you have a social media program out there for entrepreneurs, right? And I
Mhm.
just wondered if you could talk a little bit about that, how you're helping them with the social media piece of their business. I
Oh
think
yeah, of
people
course.
struggle with that.
Yeah, so with social media, because I know that's something that is scary for a lot of people, especially if it's something you've not ventured into yet, it can be a little intimidating. So what we do is we offer training for social media, so you can either learn how to do it yourself, or we also offer a do it for you package, which means that just let us handle it for you. We will handle all your social media. We'll keep you out there in front of people. We'll make sure your clients are seeing you regularly and that you're putting out relevant content. And so you have either option. We could teach you how to do it yourself, or we could just do it for you.
Oh, I love the fact that you've got a done for you opportunity there for them, and I would think that most people would really really like that. Um, do they have their own like social media expert within your company, or how does that work if when you take on somebody with a done for you program? Tell me a little bit more about what that means when you say done for you.
Okay. Yeah, so they actually get access to our whole team, and we have different content writers. We have some people who create graphics that we'll put out there for you, like on quote images and stuff. We'll brand it to your branding. And so there's a whole team of us, and we stay in communication with you. When we first start working with you, we fill out what we call a marketing brief. We get to know what it is that you want your viewers to feel when they read your content, what kind of information you want to put out there, the things that are important to your company. We find out all that stuff, and then we write in a way that it sounds like you've actually written it, even though it wasn't you that wrote it.
I love that. Very few people can do that and do it well, where you're actually writing in someone else's voice. So kudos to you for that. I know you also have a oh, I'm going to mess up the name. I don't remember the name, but it's the package that you put together where you have their is it the brand story?
Oh, the branding bundle.
The branding bundle. Yes,
Yeah.
tell me about that, because I was really interested in what you had in that package for people.
The brand bundle is well, it's kind of what it sounds. It takes your whole brand and it bundles it into one thing. I get a lot of people who come to me and they're like, "Oh, I just need a logo." And so I'll create a logo for them, but then they go off and they have somebody like they try to build their own website, for instance, and it doesn't even match the brand that they and so it's very confusing. And or they'll create social media profiles and their logo's nowhere to be found. And a lot of times when you get to a page on Facebook, for instance, and you find the same company on Twitter and they don't look the same, it's very confusing to your customers, you guys, and your prospects. And so what we do is we help you to create your brand by having a conversation with you, finding out again, who you are, what your passions are, who you want to work with, and what you want them to be and feel. And by that, we help you come up with the colors for your logo, because certain colors mean certain things. And like you don't see very many lawyers or financial people with the color red in their logo. There's a reason for that.
Right.
And most of them are blue or green, right? Because those are comfort colors and
Trust color.
happiness.
Blue, and blue is a trust color. They use
Yes,
people when they use.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, so colors are really important. So we first sit down with you, we get to know who you are, what your business stands for, and then we help you figure out your brand colors. And through those colors, we create your logo, and then we help you find the fonts that represent your business the best. Because you guys, even in your emails, your fonts should be consistent across what you're doing. And I know that sounds tedious, but it really helps your brand to be respected and to stand out. If you look at any of the big name brands, you will see that they are very, very consistent over years and decades. And so this helps your business be sustainable for a long time. And we go and find out your brand strategy. We go over your brand mission, your brand vision, your core values in your business, your brand positioning. There's a whole list of things that we go through, and we put it into a nice document for you. It looks great, it reads well, and we share it with you in a Google Drive along with your logos, even the different variations of your logos, because you should not just have one logo. It needs to be able to be on different things, right? So if you have a black logo, you might also need it in white in case you ever print it on something black or dark. And so we create the different versions of the logos for you. We put those in this Google Drive folder. Your fonts, we put the installation parts, the files for your fonts in there, so that even if you work with somebody besides us, or even if you do this yourself, you have everything you need in one little folder there. If you hire people, you can share that folder with them so that they can see what your brand represents and how they are to represent themselves as part of your brand. It helps put everybody on the same team. It helps keep on the same page on your team. It helps to keep you consistent with your branding so that your customers feel safer and more loyal to you. It's just really smart to have a consistent brand, you guys. And I love helping people find that.
Barbara, I think that is probably one of the best things I've heard about about you and your company that you create for people, right? About being consistent and creating that package, because you're right. Some people want to just take a piece of clip art that they saw someplace, or pull a picture off the internet, right, of somebody else's work and use it as their logo. And tell me, what do you think they're saying when they do something like that?
Well, they're saying a lot of things, and you guys, even if the public doesn't tell you this outright to your face, they're thinking it. Something like, "Oh, I've seen that before," or "That must not be a real company because it just looks like the same logo as this other thing," or "That looks cheap," right? Like you're using clip art, or if you. I'm not saying that you can't design it by yourself, but if you're not a graphic designer, you probably should hire a graphic designer. I always use the story that I would never change the oil in my car. I would never do that myself, right? I don't know how to, nor do I want to know how to. I take that to somebody and I pay a small amount of money to let them do it for me in about an hour, right? And so know where you should do things on your own, and know when you should pass those to an expert. Your brand, if that's not your area of expertise, you should not be doing that yourself.
No, and I think you're right. I think that people they think they're creating a brand, or they're not even interested in creating a brand. And then what happens is they're not putting, like you said before, they're not putting it. If you go to Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, right, there's no brand for them there. So tell me the difference, Barbara, between a company brand and a personal brand.
All right, so a personal brand, obviously people know, like, and trust you as a person. When you meet them, you talk to them, you nurture the relationship. Today, business is about relationships. You guys, you have to build relationships. And so they know you as a person, and so you are branding yourself while you're still branding the company, right? You don't necessarily have to have a logo for your name unless you're like a speaker or something like that. Then you can do that. Even then, you don't have to. But your company is a brand that is bigger than just you, even if it is just you. It's still, if it is consistent and congruent, it will look like you are bigger than you are, which makes people feel more comfortable doing business with you because they feel like you'll be there longer if it's more than just you. And so again, being able to build a brand, whether that's your personal brand or your company brand, it needs to be consistent, and it needs to be accurate. Like, I've seen people who have used their headshot image from 10 or 15 years ago, which is very confusing when you meet the person.
I saw a woman who she obviously used a picture from when she was 30. I met her in her 80s,
Oh
and
my.
she's using her 30-year-old picture.
Oh,
And
yet
it's
that's
like,
so confusing.
it is, or if a gentleman has lost his hair, right, and he's still using a brand picture of having a full head of hair at a
Yeah.
much younger age, it is confusing. And it was like, do you think we can't see that, right? That you
Yes.
just to think that you're this 40 year old, and yet you're really 65. We're not going to hold that against you, but we are now, because you showed us that you don't know how to update stuff, right?
Yes, it's hard to trust somebody like that because,
It is.
with the little things, if somebody can't be honest with the little things, can they really be honest with the big things? And I'm not saying that they're intentionally being dishonest when they do that, but as humans, it's our human nature to feel like we've been like tricked, right?
Yeah.
And being tricked is really hard to also have trust in that relationship.
I agree with you 100%. Hey, I know I've kept you a long time today, but I really appreciate you spending some time with me and talking to me. But I also think that I remember you said you had something free to offer your viewers here. What was
Yes.
that?
Thank you, Jean. I know that for a lot of people, time really is a struggle. I've been very fortunate that it hasn't been much of a struggle for me. It came naturally once I learned how to do it. It hasn't always been easy, but I had to develop over the years. And I still see people struggling with time. And it really bothers me because if you can master that one thing, you can master so many things in your life. Your life will change so much. So if you are somebody who feels like you know that you're not spending your time as productively as you can, that maybe you're wasting some time and time has just gotten away from you, and you just overwhelmed, you feel like you don't have enough time, and you would like to find out how to master your time and to be more productive and to feel less stress, then I'd like to offer you a complimentary 30-minute strategy session with me that I call Master Your Time, Master Your Money.
Awesome. Cool. So well, now that you've offered it, let's figure out how they can reach out and get it from you. So how
Okay.
can they reach you?
You can reach me by emailing me at barbara@fuseempire.com, or you can call me or text me at 219-707-1882. And when you reach out to me, we'll get an appointment scheduled for you.
All right, Barbara, thanks again for being here. I loved having you. I really enjoy our time talking. I enjoy you so much. I appreciate you being here. I want you to have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.